Be honest here. The Republican Party is breathing a sigh of relief a bit that she is calling it quits. She brought huge headaches to the Republican Party.
No, Jake, I think that's exactly right. Republicans feel a lot better about being able to keep the seat, and also the caricature that the media has really turned her into, that she lent the oar to rowing in that direction, won't be around to tar or define other Republicans. I do think it's fair to say that the press was excessively tough on her. She made it easy for the press to be tough on her, but the press sure did have it in for her.
I think it's fair to. I think you're right. The press was tough on her, Ari. But you have to say, as you admit, I mean, she may have been caricatured, but she handed the press the magic markers.
Yeah, that's right. And, you know, when she was not my cup of tea. What I liked the least was her statements, and I remember clashing with her on Larry King Live about this years ago, that Barack Obama was born in Kenya. You know, she just couldn't bring herself to accept the fact that he wasn't. And I've never liked the strain in politics where you differ with your opposition by trying to delegitimize them. It's one thing to clash on ideology and ideas. It's another to say they're not legitimate. And that's just not something I've thought is constructive in politics.
Charles, you wrote an op-ed back in March about what you called the GOP's Bachmann problem. Specifically, you wrote, quote, "People like Bachmann represent everything that is wrong with the Republican Party. She and her colleagues are hyperbolic, reactionary, ill-informed, and ill-intentioned, and they have become synonymous with the Republican brand." How much does Bachmann's exit hurt the Democratic Party?
Well, I don't know if it hurts the Democratic Party. I do think that it takes away a glaring example of what Democrats think Republicans are. And it remains to be seen whether or not she is truly exiting the stage, the political stage, whether or not she will be campaigning for other candidates. She is a incredible money raiser. I mean, she raised $15 million in her last race, and she raises quite a bit of money. People like her. They donate to her campaign. She could become, you know, somebody who stomps for other candidates. She could run for president again in 2016. You know, she is not necessarily leaving. And I think that anyone who ever runs for president has, you know, a monumental ego. They have an ego the size of a mountain. You have to have it. You have to believe in yourself to that degree to run for president. So those types of people don't generally exit and go, you know, into the good night.
And Ari, earlier this year, the Huffington Post asked Senator John McCain for his opinion of some other Tea Party darlings like Republican Senator Rand Paul, Ted Cruz. He said, quote, "It's always the wacko birds on right and left that get the media megaphone. I think it can be harmful if there's a belief among the American people that those people are reflective of the views of the majority of Republicans. They're not." I'm sure you agree with that. Who are the wacko birds on the left that the media is not paying enough attention to?
Well, it's some of the big birds on the left. You remember you had Senator Harry Reid, called the former President of the United States a liar. You had Harry Reid say about Mitt Romney that he paid no taxes, Reid said in the speech on the Senate floor. A fabrication out of entire whole cloth. Made whatever Michelle Bachmann's mistakes were look small, considering the impact of the majority leader of the Senate taking to the Senate floor to accuse the presidential nominee of paying no taxes. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, the chairwoman of the Democratic National Committee and a congresswoman from Florida, she got the Pinocchio of the Year award, the false statement of the year award, for saying Republicans want to end Medicare as we know it. So, you know, the Democrats have them, but I do think that when the Republicans have them, they get more press attention. The press enjoys vilifying them. And the Democrats, it's noted by the media, but it comes and goes. They don't seem to treat the Democrats with the same pleasure that they treat Republicans.
But you also have to agree, Ari, that the scale of Michelle Bachmann's kind of fibbing is beyond anything that we've seen before. PolitiFact did a roundup today after her video came out that she wasn't going to seek re-election, and of all the comments they have ever fact-checked from Michelle Bachmann, 75% of them were rated mostly false or worse, and only 8% of the statements that they had fact-checked from Michelle Bachmann were unambiguously true. That is a very different kind of track record than what you have just pointed out on the other side.
Well, and as I said, she's not my cup of tea. But I also want to
I don't
point
know
out
whose cup of tea that
that
is.
the lie of the year in 2011 was a statement from Debbie Wasserman Schultz. So both parties do have this element. I don't like the term wacko bird. You know, frankly, I think the Tea Party has been very good for Republicans when it comes to putting a fiscal spine in the Republican Party. I don't like, in the case of those individuals who engage in the delegitimization of the opposition, as I said. But the Tea Party, by and large, has been a shot of economic adrenaline to get the government spending and get taxes under control. And I think that's supportive. They'll do better if they have smarter, more intellectual candidates who combine that passion for small government.